So today I'm filming a review video for you, and that review is on the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. I'm sure that you've already seen tons of reviews of this. You already know about this palette, especially if you are a Gwen Stefani fan, which I didn't really realize there were so many Gwen Stefani fans until this palette came out and everyone was raving about how much they loved her and how much they loved No Doubt. I don't have any particular love for her. However, when I first saw the colors in this palette, I basically fell in love. These are the colors. At first glance, you might be thinking, that's a lot of pale shades, a lot of neutrals. And it is a lot of neutrals. But I love the Naked palettes, the Naked Basics palettes. So that didn't really turn me off of this palette. Also, these three colors down the bottom are absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, just everything about this palette really appealed to me. The package is a lot smaller than maybe you realize from pictures. Hopefully you can see, like, next to my head and my hands and everything, that is a fairly small palette. However, it does come with 15 shades, and it retails Canadian for $70. That is a pricey palette. That is more than the Naked palettes, but it is, I really like it. Whether it's worth it is going to be different for everyone. Just talking about the palette, it is very nice. It feels very heavy, very good quality. This little, I think it's metal plaque on the front is very pretty. It has a magnetic closure, a giant mirror with what I believe is a lyric from a No Doubt song. Hopefully I am not just blinding you. Hopefully you can see that. It says the magic's in the makeup. And yeah, so there are, I think, 4 matte shades in this palette, and those are Anaheim, Stark, Zone, and Blackout. Blackout is a regular part of the Urban Decay line. There are a couple more shades that are just part of the Urban Decay line, but the rest of them are limited edition, especially for this palette. I'm not going to swatch any of them for you right now because I have some really good swatch pictures that I took earlier, so I will insert those side by side. In general, these shadows really live up to Urban Decay's quality. The more satiny shades like Blonde and Skimp are really beautiful. All of the mattes are really nice. Actually, I think Punk is a matte too, so that would mean there are 5 mattes. Punk's sort of a plummy brown color. All of these are beautiful sort of highlights. This one could maybe be a highlight as well, depending on your skin tone. Obviously, a lot of these shades are going to be more catered to a fairer skin tone, which makes sense as Gwen Stefani herself is very fair. But there are some colors in here that are really good for smoky fun looks. As you can maybe tell today, I am wearing the blue, which is Danger. And that is a really beautiful deep blue color with a black sort of under shade. The only color I'm really disappointed with in this palette, just because I don't really like glitter shades, especially Urban Decay's glitter shades, they're very chunky. I am, however, wearing it on my inner corner over top of Skimp, but Pop down here is mostly just a glitter shade. As you can see, it's very sort of foily and shimmery down the bottom, and it does have a lot of chunky glittery fallout. However, it's very interesting for putting over other colors because it really adds a interesting glitter, so it's fun to play with. Harajuku, I know some people are disappointed with just because it isn't as pigmented as some people wanted it to be, but I do think it's a really fun color. I've used it as just a lid color with, I think, one of the matte browns in the crease, and it is a very pretty shade. It's very easy to work with because it isn't super pigmented. Also, I'm sure you could put it over something white like Milk, and that would make it a much more wearable, or much less wearable, much brighter, more pigmented shade. One of my absolute favorites from the palette is 1987. I love a good gold shadow, and this one is beautifully pigmented, smooth, creamy, and it goes on really rich and warm. So I've been really loving working with 1987. That's also the shade that I used in my Christmas makeup tutorial from this year, so I will link that in an information card and also down below in the description if you want to go take a look at that. Also, Sirius is a pretty interesting color. Just normal, it looks kind of like a gray shimmer, but hopefully the light will catch in the screen. Hope you can see there's a bit of a purple shimmer inside that gray, and that is absolutely beautiful. It's what I'm wearing in my crease, and it's just beautiful. It's really nice to work with. Blackout is great to work with. It's a very creamy black, which is surprising. It's not super dry or chalky. Steady and Baby are really beautiful colors. Sort of mid-tone, good all over the eye shadow colors. And I do love that these three matte sort of mid-tone colors are here. These two, Anaheim and Zone, are great for crease colors, and then Stark is good for an all over the lid color. And yeah, I think this is a really great palette. If you have a darker skin tone, it might be a little more difficult to work with. A lot more of the shades are going to be highlights for you. So whether it's worth it for you, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure who this is worth it for. If you're just getting it for the Gwen Stefani name, maybe that's worth it to you in itself. So I would go ahead and do it if you have the money for it. If you have the Too Faced Semi-Sweet palette, I'm not sure that it would be worth it, just because I feel like just looking at swatches and at the colors in the pan, they seem to be very, very similar. A lot of the same shades. It has a blue, it's got a lot of warm browny shades. I really like the palette because I like to work with a lot of neutrals with a little bit of color here and there. So this palette is really great for me. I've been really enjoying it. I know I'm going to continue to get a lot of use out of it. What you like in an eyeshadow palette is really going to change whether this is worth it for you. I would watch a bunch more tutorials and reviews and stuff just to see some other people's opinions. Some people have been super positive about it, some people have been super negative. So if you watch a bunch of reviews, you will probably get a pretty good idea about whether this is good for you. Also, if you can make it into a Sephora, I would go and swatch it for yourself. See how many of the colors work for you, how you like the pigmentation, and yeah. But if you have just been lusting after it and you think the colors are amazing and you're just worried about whether they're good quality, absolutely go and buy it. You will not regret it. If you already love the shades, you will love the palette. So that is just my quick little review of the Gwen Stefani palette. I know there are tons of reviews out there already from people who got it early for review or in the pre-sale or anything, but I got it like a regular person and I wanted some time to try it out before I shared. But I did want to make sure that I got my opinion out there for you guys in case you were wondering. So those are my thoughts on the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. If you were wondering, this lipstick is not the one I put on in that video. Sorry, I got a weird smudge. I am wearing the Sephora and Pantone Universe Marsala lipstick from last December. So I apologize if you don't have that, but something in a brown terracotta color will work. Anything that you bought to go with the Marsala trend will work. Even something like Velvet Teddy or one of those beloved Kylie Jenner lips would probably work really well with this look and give a similar look. So that is my review. I hope that it helped you out or give you some insight into this palette, whether it will be worth it for you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to see more videos from me, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.